Hey guys, it's the Millster. Okay guys, want to bring to you guys a dream I had this morning, and it's late the afternoon now. I wanted to wait on it just to double check, and okay, I'm gonna give it to you guys. You guys just listen to it, and okay. I was walking by hotel rooms, and I saw this man outside, and he was staring out into, you know, the sky outside. And I remember hearing a woman that was screaming inside the one of the hotel rooms, and she was screaming and she was throwing tantrums, and I realized she was in a wedding dress, and like she was just in there, and I watched as the groom was pacing back and forth outside the door, and his face was so hurt and he was troubled, and he kept lovingly, you know, asking, "Are you alright? Are you okay?" And she would scream even louder and start throwing things across the room and yell because, you know, like her dress wasn't ready. She was yelling and screaming, and she kept hitting herself. And like she would hit herself on one hand, and she would hit herself on the other side, and she would tear at her dress, and she was getting so frustrated, and she was trying to like really destroy her dress because she was so aggravated and so angry at everything. And he just put his head down and waited outside the room, and he heard her. She was just blaming everyone else for her not having her clothes ready. And she was screaming to another man that was inside, and this other man was in there, which I couldn't see him, but I heard his voice, and he just kept telling her, just, you know, stop, sit down, relax. He was trying to talk to her, to counsel her, and she was not listening to him, to the point where, you know, the guy the other voice ended up just stopped talking completely, altogether. And then there was just like, she kept screaming and screaming even louder, and I walked by and I just looked at him, and I looked at the room, and I was like, "Hey, do you need any help?" He's like, "She has to figure this out on her own." And I was like, "Okay." Well, I'm like, "Well, I'm gonna be right here in case you need me, okay?" And he just kind of, you know, brought his head down and just kept looking out, and he was worried for this woman, for I guess it was his bride, his wife to be, but he couldn't get her yet because she kept throwing tantrums and kept, oh, excuse me, if I could, okay, and kept screaming and yelling, and the worst part was watching her hit her own self, and she kept calling herself names, and it was just sad. It was sad to see this woman just, she was like horrible. It was just really aggravating to hear her screaming at herself and hating herself and complaining about how there was one part where she complained about how one side of her dress was off, and how, look at this, and she was pointing at everything that was wrong with it, and yet she failed to see the other side of her dress, which was even, you know, worse, torn, because she was tearing at it herself. So I'll leave you guys with that dream. And for me, it was pretty much self-explanatory, but I want to hear you guys' input on it. I had it this morning, so it's pretty sad, because yeah, that's what we're doing to each other as the bride, throwing tantrums, screaming, blaming everybody else for our mistakes, and we all want to go with Jesus, but how do we expect to go with him when we're not even right ourselves? He wants to come and get us, but yeah, we gotta come together first. So, alright, well, I'll leave you guys with that. So, I am going to go. I've been eating food like crazy, as you guys can see. Bat's been coming back, you know. But so yeah. So I'll leave you guys with this dream. So okay.